everybody!
Hey.
Hi there! Welcome to Conversations by Water and Happy Water Wednesday, by the way. This Conversations by Water is a weekly series that we've been running in which we are talking with local wave makers to find out what it is that inspires them to make change locally or even globally. So my name is Paola Espitia. I'm your host and I'm one of the creatives at Ola'pi Creative. We actually work with wave makers to help them create, amplify, and imagine their own personal stories so that way they can be the change they want to see in the world. We wanted to make this Conversations by Water series so that way we could all get a chance to get to know who these local wave makers are, and so that way you all get a chance to not only support them but also know what's going on in the community. We are all really lucky to live here in Fort Lauderdale. It's known as the Venice of the Americas. It's because we're surrounded by water, and so that means that we have a lot of really special places that are set up right here by water. Today we are coming to you live from Coley Hammock. This is one of my favorite parks. Some really dear friends, Paige and Patrick, got married here. Hey! And it's right off Las Olas, and right across the way here is actually, do you know whose house that is?
Dick Van Dyke.
So close. Almost. This is Wayne Huizinga. Everybody knows the name Wayne Huizinga. I'm like one of like the water taxi drivers now, right? So this is Wayne Huizinga's house, and he is a really important figure here because he started waste management. And thankfully for waste management, we actually do have a really nice canal system here in Fort Lauderdale. So we love the Venice of the Americas. And when you do get a chance to be by Las Olas, make sure to swing on over to the water and visit Coley Hammock. I love this park.
It's beautiful. It's so peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to introduce you today to our guest. This is a dear friend of mine. I feel like I say that every time, but this time it's real. No. But no, Shara Marie Teter. She's a really great friend of mine. She recently married one of my best friends down here. These women are amazing, Katie Brown. And Shara is a really special individual. I actually met her through graduate school when we were attending NOVA at the Oceanographic Center. And Shara came in a couple of years after me, but she came in knowing she was going to study sharks straight off the bat. So Shara has always been Shark Shara. I think at one point we even made you a superhero logo. Dude, we should definitely put that on a t-shirt.
Yes, we should, just so I can like rip it off.
There we go. So we'll have to look out for Shark Shara coming up to you in the future. But it's actually very fitting that she has always been enamored by sharks because, as you'll hear, she's made a transition just like we did out of marine research and into another way to make an impact in the world. So I'm really happy to have Shara here with us today. Thanks for coming.
So sweet. I just want to start by saying thank you. I'm so grateful, and it's been so wonderful to get to watch you shine your light and blossom, and I'm just so excited to be here.
Oh my God, that's so much fun. Yeah.
So yes, I mean, really my story began way, way long ago. Grew up in landlocked Pennsylvania where there was no ocean, and I was still so little I hadn't appreciated yet the lakes and the streams. So the first body of water I saw was the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh wow.
Yeah, when we went to Lewis, Delaware, your stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if I really have that true memory. I was either like 3 or 5 years old. Or it's like that fake memory that I've looked at this picture so many times.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Yes, that my dad took it of us, and my mom's in the middle, and my brother and I are holding our hands, and we're walking that water line on the ocean. And that, like, that's the epitome of what the ocean is to me. It's just like my heart and soul, and it's love, and it's connection. And I just fell in love right away as a little kid. That's how that began. And really, our family trips were almost every summer to the shore, either Rehoboth or Ocean City, Maryland, which is close to you. Mm-hmm. And I just knew that I loved the ocean, but I kind of continued on with my life and got my bachelor's degree in environmental biology. And then I decided I wanted to learn how to scuba dive. So in Pennsylvania, when you scuba dive, you go in a quarry. But it was still awesome. But the dive shop that I was working with had a trip to Bonaire in the Caribbean. And once I went on that trip, you know, I was hooked. That was home, that glorious blue water, the stuff that we get to see here in South Florida on those sunny days. It sucked me in. So I kind of, again, just kept diving, went on with my life, worked in Philadelphia, and the turning point for me was when I was working in Philadelphia, but I was part of the New York Underwater Photography Society.
Oh, very cool.
And so I take the train up once a month, and we have little meetings and workshops and stuff, and that's where I met, God bless his soul, Rob Stewart, who passed away last year in a diving accident. But I met him, and I saw his light and his energy, and he introduced me through the documentary Sharkwater about what was going on with our oceans and our sharks. And you know, just to get, if you haven't seen this documentary and you think even you might like the ocean, like it is worth watching. It's worth the time. It's amazing. And it just got me to the point where, you know, it's talking about the decimation of shark populations and how they slice off the fin of the shark and throw the shark in to drown for the Asian markets. Mainly the movie was focused on shark fin soup and how the health of our oceans depends on the health of our sharks, and the health of our oceans gives us our oxygen and our life here on Earth and the things that we get to enjoy. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go see the sharks now. And that's when I met you.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. So yeah, I became a research assistant at Guy Harvey Research Institute and the Save Our Seas Shark Center. And I just fell in love with the work. I got to tag sharks and swim with sharks and do conservation projects in marine protected areas. And like that, it was kind of it for me, you know, like that's where I belonged, and life was kind of like, well, you're not done yet. So 2 years into graduate school, as you know, you were with me, I got one of those phone calls that you never really want to get. And I remember it was the fall of 2012, and I was in lab at Nova in our beautiful new building that we had. And I remember my mom calling me and being like, Shara, are you sitting down? And that's something you never really want to hear your mom say. I'm like, no, but I can be. So I walked out in the hallway and sat in the cushion and like looked at the ocean, and she said, the doctors found a giant aneurysm in my brain. They're gonna have to operate right now. So to make an extraordinarily long story short, that eventually took my love for the ocean and combined it to what I am doing now, because my mom's legacy was water. You know, she was a water woman, and she dreamed big. So ended up the surgery obviously did not go well, and through those 2 years of her courageously fighting, going to rehab, you know, she eventually was just done, and she passed away in January of 2015. And that's when I had this new epiphany, you know, and I personally feel like I died along with her. Like I was the shell of this human that I used to be. And unknowingly through grad school and through these amazing connections that I made with the women who love the ocean so much, I had built this fortress of women around me who were not going to let me drown on their watch. You know, and the people that were around me were so loving and so kind that eventually, it took me a long time, but I started to laugh again. And I started to enjoy life again and feel vibrant, and that's when it clicked. That's what I want to help people feel. You know, like my purpose is to bring the life and peace and healing and adventure of the ocean to those women who are doing amazing, beautiful things, because if you don't have that vitality, if you don't have that well-being, life is just kind of gray, and you don't have the energy to shine that unique life that everybody has, you know, that light into the world, and that became my purpose.
It is such a beautiful story. Thank you so much for taking us down your path. And I know it's never easy, but
I still sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna cry today.
Nothing worthwhile is ever easy, right?
Right.
And it actually, you know, Shara is a really good example of wave maker and what that actually means. And the idea is that, in my mind, a wave maker is somebody who creates a ripple effect, that through their teaching or their project or their art, they're actually inspiring everybody else. And that's exactly what happened to you and what you're now doing through your practice, which is Shara Marie Lifecoaching, right?
Yep.
And so a really neat thing that you're doing, and I'm so proud of you for doing this. This is what makes her so incredible, is that you know, she's had these really difficult experiences and obviously has learned a lot through those, but she has also gained this beautiful wealth of knowledge and experience from diving and from shark diving. So tell us how you are integrating shark diving and those kinds of dive experiences with your coaching.
So this is kind of my favorite part. So
Kinda.
Yeah, it is my favorite part. So I focus on helping women leaders, right? The people that are out there, they want to make an impact, make a change, And a lot of doing that is not only having that emotional energy and that support, but it's being able to break through that fear, right? What's on the other side of that? And there is nothing that we have been taught to be afraid of more than we've been taught to be afraid of sharks, right? If you've seen, you know the media, it's all over the place. So what part of my coaching program is I'm starting to do this one-day workshop where we literally go swimming with sharks. It's a step through your fear into your freedom. And once you realize the truth of the experience, instead of all the stuff that you have been told, and it's just this beautiful, peaceful experience, you can start to pick out the other things in your life that you're afraid of that you're not really sure why. And you can start to work through that and step through that, because usually if you really are pulled to do something, on the other side of the fear that's preventing you is the freedom to do that.
That's and the way that you're doing it by incorporating water, I think that is the most important element in all of this. As you know, we're huge ambassadors for Blue Mind and for what the Blue Mind movement stands for, and it's basically we are literally seeing all of these examples, whether it's from medicine or from real estate or travel, tourism, in which water is very highly valued. Water actually makes us feel happier, makes us more focused, brings us more clarity. And so when you're in a situation like that, I actually, on the cruise I was just on, I was talking to somebody about diving, and one of the things that she said, which was so perfectly, well put, is that when you're diving, when you're underwater, all you care about is your breath. All you need to do is just make sure you're still breathing. And even if there's a shark coming at your way, you still need to be breathing. And so diving really teaches you how to breathe and slow down. And I know my breath totally changes when I'm underwater. It's slower and deeper. And
even when you're swimming and you're at the ocean, nobody's talking to you. It's fine in this world of overwhelm and stress. It's that peace of being in the water and seeing what's around you. I love it so much.
And then meanwhile, if you want to find out more about Blue Minds, you can come to the Stranahan House tonight at 5:30. I will be talking during a wine and cheese event that's hosted by Adventures in Voluntourism. It's going to be really great. It's going to be a really nice little intimate discussion right here on water. So join us there at 5:30. And we'll be continuing this kind of conversation. But imagine, I'm sure the people who go through this program, they come out with a pretty rad story about how they swam with sharks. That's never a bad day.
That's not a bad story. It's never a bad day. No.
Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer. One of the final things I wanted to find out from you is what matters? What matters to you?
What matters to me? I would say at this point in my life, my mission has become three things. It's well-being, dreaming big, and growing into your truth. And helping other people do that and facilitating that journey for other people so that they can shine their light, so that they can make the world a better place, so that they're more focused on a happier, healthier ocean and environment and family and community, and to thrive. That's what's important to me.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Woo! So with that, no, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you all got a chance to get some learning, a little bit of education out of that, and get to know Shara a little bit better. She has an incredible story. Where can people learn more about you? Okay, so I'm going to actually put a link below this video somewhere. And that's going to take you, if you just want to chat. I love collaborating. I love getting to know new people. If you want to talk about maybe going on a shark trip or explore my energy of leadership or my ocean healing and adventure program, that button, if you click on it, that'll set up a really easy, free discovery call where all I want to do is add value. Either way, you're going to walk away feeling more inspired. We're going to talk about what's working well for you, what's not working that well for you. Maybe if you get something to work better, you'd have more ease and grace in your life, and what the next best step is for you. Yeah. And we can always work together after that if we both decide that that's what we want. Otherwise, you can find me on Facebook here, and on Instagram, I am at Shara_Marie_. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Or I'll be by the beach.
Or we'll be by water.
Or by the canal.
So if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us on Conversations by Water. Until next time, I hope you're making some meaningful moments out there in the world. So wishing you water. See you tonight.